and welcome back to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Amasa. Today is the 17th of December and I'm here as always to give you a daily dose of your latest gaming news. This time I'm bringing you some news from South Park The Stick of Truth, as the Australian version of the game has been slightly censored despite the fact that it earned itself an R18+ rating. Now, Ubisoft told Player Attack that the build of the game submitted to the Australian Classification Board for review is a, quote, slightly modified version of South Park The Stick of Truth. Interestingly though, the site did a little bit of digging and found that another version of the game had already been rated under the title Codename, which of course was a nice attempt to keep it hidden, but Player Attack spotted that the descriptions of the two games match perfectly. Now, unless reports are made available for both titles, it's unlikely that we'll actually find out how or if the two versions are actually all that different and what exactly was altered between the original game, which of course will be releasing uncut in North America and Europe, and of course comparing that to the censored Australian version. Now, of course, South Park The Stick of Truth will be coming out on PC, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in March. It is in no way the first game to be censored in Australia, even after an R18 rating category was introduced back in January. Of course, State of Decay had to be modified to meet their strict drug content guidelines, as well as, of course, Saints Row 4 had some problems being rated in Australia as well. So we don't know exactly how or what Ubisoft had to censor in order to make it under the Australian classification. It could be that the original version, the quote-unquote codename version, only just made it, or they said, you know, you need to change this or you're not releasing this game or something. I don't know. The Australian Classification Board obviously said something to them to make them change something about the full South Park Stick of Truth rating. Of course, otherwise they would have just accepted that rating and released it without having to censor anything. So it could be that the original codename version was already censored, but the Australian Classification Board wanted them to censor it more. It's really tough to say without actual full-on details of what transpired from either Ubisoft or the board. We're just never going to know. And unless someone actually physically sits down and compares the two versions of the US/EU to Australia, we're not really going to know exactly how it's censored. It could be that content was removed, or certain mechanics were retweaked, or even just one certain section, one line even, one particular piece of dialogue or story or quest or what have you. It could have been literally anything, given that South Park is, of course, branded itself and very much built itself on being rather colourful, to say the least. It's not really surprising that the Australian Classification Board, people who are very strict on drugs especially, have found something to, well, need tweaking. So I would like to know what exactly has been changed, but to be honest, I don't think we're going to be getting it. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.